and today we're going to be talking about the fact that Texas is refusing to pass E-Verify and actually an enforceable E-Verify because it does exist in the state, but for some reason our legislator is just refusing to make businesses and private companies follow this, and it's become such an issue that even liberal media outlets are starting to notice. So here we've got one of our most recent articles, and it talks about how another legislative session has just flown by, and the Texas House didn't bother to lift a finger to tackle the million of illegal workers fueling sky-high housing prices in the state of Texas. If you're a Texas citizen, if you're a property owner, you know your property taxes are high. If you're watching this and you're a renter in the state of Texas, you know that it's pretty hard to be able to afford a home right now. Housing market is just out of control. And one of the ways that many people talk about dealing with this is the fact that there are a lot of these illegal aliens that live here in the state of Texas, and they do take up some of the housing. And so getting back to the point here, the Texas Tribune, which is generally known as a liberal or slightly left-leaning media outlet, has even noticed that Texas legislation is refusing to pass E-Verify. In one of their most recent articles, they talk about the fact, and here's their headline: Texas won't force private companies to use E-Verify to check workers' immigration status despite leaders' tough talk. And this is a massive issue. These Republicans in Texas constantly run on this, that they're going to be enforcing immigration laws and all this stuff, and they just haven't. And we've seen bills about E-Verify that get pushed through. One most recently was something about enforcing E-Verify, and it only applied to government positions. So I assure you, like, the Pablo or the Garcia isn't applying for government-run organizations or companies, right? They're applying for jobs that are generally, on the lower end, for either it's restaurants or labor companies, right? Those are the jobs that they're applying for. They're not applying for government jobs. And so a bill that forces E-Verify only on government jobs does absolutely nothing. And so, we've kind of make a joke here how the government has tried everything to stop illegal immigration, except things that actually work. They put these, what we call them, pool floaties at the border, river crossing there, and people just hop over them or swim under them. It's not an issue. This is not a real thing. An estimated 1.3 million Texas workers, more than 8% of the state's workforce are here illegally. So 8% of the state's workforce are here illegally. These illegal aliens do decrease wages because they're willing to work for a lot less. So it's absolutely a concern. About a quarter of all construction workers in Texas lack legal status. And, for example, in the industry faces a critical labor shortage as a need for housing boom. So, they make these arguments that we need illegal aliens because who else is going to build the homes? And that's just not the case. There are plenty of people that need jobs. The problem is that the jobs that the illegals are willing to do, like building houses, Americans are not willing to do them at the rate that which they currently pay illegals to do them. And illegals are willing to take those jobs at a very low, junky rate because they don't have any other choice. So that's this argument that, we need illegals because they build homes. Well, yeah, they build homes for cheap, and who's the person that benefits from cheap labor? The building companies, right? And so this has been a serious problem. They're not applying E-Verify. The Texas legislature seems more concerned with priorities, which Dan Patrick labeled, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, as like banning THC. And I assure you, like, what actually matters to Texans is forcing companies to actually use E-Verify and making it a penalty for companies to hire illegal aliens. That's something that Texans care about. And until the legislator wakes up and passes something like this, I don't think that they're going to be taken seriously. So anyway, that's it for this week, or for today. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on E-Verify and why you think Republicans are not enforcing this. And hopefully this is something they tackle next session. This is Tony Ortiz with Current Revolt. Would love for you to subscribe, and you can read our articles at currentrevolt.com. Thanks so much. Have a great day.